Dear students, welcome you all. I am Sujata here to explain you the summary of The Last Leaf written by O. Henry for the students who are seeking first BCom first semester and BBA and other courses under the Faculty of Commerce and Management. At first, let us know about the author O. Henry. His real name was William Sidney Porter, who was born in 1862 and died in 1910. He was an American short story writer and is known by his pen name O. Henry. While he was in prison, he began writing short stories in order to support his daughter Margaret. His first published story was Whistling Dick's Christmas Stocking, which was published in 1899. And he has changed his pen name to O. Henry, not wanting his readers to know that he was in prison. He has written nearly 600 short stories, which are known for witty plots, surprise endings, warm characterization of awkward and difficult situations. Let's move into the lesson, The Last Leaf now. The story, O. Henry has set his story, this short story, The Last Leaf, in a quaint village named as Greenwich, which was to the west of Washington Square in New York. The old Greenwich village is inhabited by young artists who come to seek their fame. The story centers on Sue and Johnsy. They were two young women artists who share a studio at the top of a dilapidated apartment building, which was not in a very good condition. They had met at a hotel named as Delmonico and found that their tastes are similar in art, chicory, salad, and bishop leaves, and agreeable to each other, which resulted in the combined studio. In November, the colony was attacked by an epidemic named as pneumonia, taking with it many young lives. It had taken many young lives with it. Many of them have died because of pneumonia. The author personifies pneumonia as Mr. Pneumonia, which was old-fisted, short-breathed, old duffer, and who also attacked Johnsy. The doctor who visited them, he predicts that Johnsy won't have much chance of survival if she doesn't find the will to live. If she has will to live, then she could survive. Since his medicines have little effect on a patient who has decided that she is going to die, so he tells Sue that Johnsy decided that she is going to die. So his medicines won't have much effect on a patient who have such feeling. When the doctor asks if Johnsy is depressed about something in particular, Sue mentions that she has a dream which was unfulfilled, that is, unfulfilled ambition to paint the Bay of Naples. But doctor, he doesn't accept that. He tells that if Johnsy is troubled over a man, Sue ironically comments that she doesn't accept that a man, no, she is not troubled over a man. And Sue is overwhelmed by sorrow, that after listening to the doctor's words, and she goes to the workroom and cried a lot, that her Japanese napkin to pulp. She cries her heart out. Later, Sue goes to the bedroom and sees Johnsy lying on the bed, motionless and looking out in the window. While Sue was sketching a pair of elegant horseshoe trousers and a monocle of the figure of the hero, an Idaho cowboy, she heard Johnsy repeating something in low sounds and counting something. Sue goes to Johnsy's bedside and saw her looking out of the window and counting backwards. Johnsy was counting the withered leaves, the falling leaves, the leaves which are falling from the old ivy vine, climbing up the blank side of the brick house 20 feet away. So, here, an ivy vine is there which was climbing up. That is, Johnsy could see very easily from her window, which was 20 feet away from that window. Okay? The old ivy vine had shed most of its leaves in the cold autumn season and was looking almost bare. That many of its leaves were fallen down. There were only 5 leaves on the ivy vine now. Johnsy tells you that when the last leaf falls, she must also go. That is, she also die. Okay? Sue admonishes Johnsy and tells her that old ivy leaves have nothing to do with her from recovering from pneumonia, and she would be well soon, and tries unsuccessfully to convince Johnsy that she has something to live for. But whatever Sue tells, Johnsy won't accept. That is, she made her mind up that she is going to die when the last leaf falls down from the ivy vine. Sue orders Johnsy to keep her eyes shut, and pulls the window shades over the window. She works on an illustration of a magazine, and she plans to sell that illustration, that art, to buy more food for Johnsy. Sue goes to visit Mr. Behrman. He was an old artist. He who lived on the ground floor below the studio, to ask him to pose for her as a model of a old hermit miner. So, old Behrman, he was also an artist, and he was working as a model for many young artists. Mr. Behrman was an old, unsuccessful artist who, after decades of failure, still hopes to paint his masterpiece. He earned his living by painting for commercial advertisements or by posing as a model for young aspiring artists such as Sue and Johnsy, who could not afford a professional model. He was a fierce-looking little old man, scoffed at softness in anyone. He regarded himself as a special mastiff in waiting to protect the 2 young women artists who lived upstairs. Those are Sue and Johnsy. He was very overprotective of Sue and Johnsy. When Sue told him about Johnsy's illness and about Johnsy's strange perceptions, he is enraged, means he was full of anger at her foolishness. What this foolishness is? To think that she would die when a leaf drops from a confounded vine outside her window. What is this foolishness? He is initially contemptuous of the idea that leaves could have anything to do with Johnsy's health. Sue takes Mr. Behrman to Johnsy's room, and they look out in fear at the ivy vine. because very few leaves are there. And there, Mr. Behrman looks at Sue without speaking and silently sits down and poses for Sue as a hermit miner. The next morning, Sue wakes up to see Johnsy wide awake. She asks Sue to open the shades on the window, and both are surprised to see that one ivy leaf was still stubbornly stuck to the ivy, even after the raging storm through the livelong night. So there was a very big storm, very heavy rain the previous night. But that leaf was stubbornly stuck still to the ivy vine survived after the storm. Johnsy says that she had thought that last leaf would surely fall during the night and she would have died at the same time. But later, when Sue was making chicken soup, Johnsy tells her that she had been a bad girl and that something had made that last leaf to stay on the ivy to show how wicked she was and how bad she was, how foolish she was to think about dying. She asks Sue to bring her some chicken broth to eat and to bring a mirror to her so that she could comb her hair and look fresh. An hour later, Johnsy tells Sue that she is going to live and that someday she hopes to paint the Bay of Naples. Mr. Behrman came to see her. His eyes were red and streaming with tears because Johnsy was alive. That's why he was streaming with tears in his eyes. He shouted his contempt at her derision for such idiotic imaginings. The next day, the doctor says that Johnsy is out of danger and that she now needs only nutrition and care. So, a very good nutrition, good food and care makes Johnsy get well soon. That's what the doctor said. Later that afternoon, Sue comes and tells Johnsy that Mr. Behrman had died from pneumonia that day in the hospital. He had been ill for 2 days. He had been taken to the hospital 2 days before after that stormy night, that rainy night. He was found lying helpless with fever and his clothes wet in his room. He was lying helpless with fever and his clothes also was wet. They had found a ladder and a lantern still lighted and scattered brushes and a palette of green and yellow paint mixed in that. Sue asked Johnsy to look out of the window and at the last ivy, that is, to look at the window, the last ivy leaf on the wall, and ask her if she had wondered why it had not fluttered or moved when the wind blew. As it was not a real leaf, it was painted by Mr. Behrman. That was they come to know from that. It was painted Behrman on the wall with green and yellow paint mixed on that. It was Mr. Behrman's masterpiece. He used to tell always that I am going to paint a masterpiece. I am going to paint a masterpiece one day. But he died of pneumonia. This last leaf was his masterpiece. Okay? He had painted it there the night that the last leaf fell. So, with that heavy rain, the last leaf fell actually. But this leaf which was stuck on the wall was painted by Mr. Behrman for the sake of Johnsy, to make her alive, to make her survive of pneumonia. Mr. Behrman had stayed out all night in the violent storm, heavy rain, which was full of wind, very chill, cold wind, to paint a realistic looking leaf on the brick wall outside Sue and Johnson's window. Seeing that the last leaf, which was in fact Behrman's painting but not real leaf, and that seemingly survived the storm 2 nights in a row, Johnsy takes hope and begins to recover. However, Behrman catches pneumonia from exposure to the rain and cold that night, and he dies 2 days later. When Sue tells Johnsy this truth about Behrman and his painting of Last Leaf, she remarks she tells that Behrman had finally painted his masterpiece. So this was the story of The Last Leaf, which was painted by Mr. Behrman, old artist, to make that is a young woman, Johnsy, to live. This was the story. The Last Leaf ends here. Thank you.